Hi, I'm Mara, an activist, an author, whatever, you name it. I was the survivor of the fall of the Republic 15 years ago. The Republic had not always silenced girls. Once, classrooms opened their doors to us. That is where Lira and I met. Two orphans of traitors, two children who read by candlelight as if light itself were forbidden. She dreamed of becoming a doctor, and I wanted to become a famous author. We're practically sisters living in harmony. But then the decree came. Schools were for boys only, and at 8, our futures were crushed with our classrooms. The factory was our classroom now. Fire, iron, and smoke inside our lungs instead of hope. We studied in secret until whips taught Lira that a woman's voice meant punishment. Her laughter still lingered, but her flame was gone. I was different. I was quiet, yet hungry to learn. I believe knowledge was survival, a candle in the Republic's darkness. Sadly, I had no power, no courage, no defiance met death. One night, I caught Lira staring at her empty journal. I asked her, "Hey, Lira, what are you doing here? Anyway, look, I have this new book. I know you love it. Come and join me, will you?" Oh, Mara, they've cut our tongues. Words can't save us anymore. What's the point? Said Lira. Well, but words are all we have left. And then I left Lira alone and continued my own study. As time passed, it started to feel as if we already went at opposite directions. It wasn't I who reignited Lira's fire, but our old teacher, Mistress Havel. Once a mentor and our mother figure, now reduced to sweeping streets after schools for women were banned. Lira met her again at the market, and Mistress Havel was fleeing from the Republic soldier. In a frantic instant, she pressed a torn page into Lira's hand. It read, "When truth is forbidden, even silence becomes a weapon." Mistress Havel talked to Lira before the soldiers dragged her away. Right, child, right. Even if it kills you, right. Lira saw Mistress Havel got beaten, and she realized that she was taken away for starting a resistance. She remembered Mistress Havel gently yet unbroken until to her very brutal end. Fear already gripped Lira. She knew what the Republic did to women who spoke, but she came to one clarity. There is nothing left to lose. Orphaned and oppressed by oppression, silence became unbearable. Oh, Mara, they have controlled everything. What more can they take? I might as well resist and make sure that Mistress Havel's life didn't end in vain, said Lira after she told me everything about the incident. Then she began reading again, smuggling books from merchants and rich officers where she was taking part-time jobs as a housemaid. She wrote on scribbles of scraps of packaging papers, words hidden in the cracks of the factory wall. I encouraged her, feeding her phrases, arguments, metaphors. Lira carried them to the open as some theatrical monologues, but it was my careful hands that shaped them. Her poems and slogans were often inspired by my own ideas. I also took her to my secret study circle disguised as a religious gathering. It was the only tolerated gathering in the Republic, But together, we kept the awareness alive. For once memorized, words cannot be burned or confiscated. In our hands, words become weapons, shields, banners of resistance. One line soon became many, and one day, Lira recited her poetry to the factory boards. "We are more than hands for machines. We are minds. We are hearts. We are not silent." Women loved it, and they passed the words and spirit in secret. Of course, overseers tore it down, but It was too late. The words had multiplied, demanding freedom and equality. Then came the night of reckoning, the night of horrors, when soldiers stormed into our quarters. They found Lita's journal, and they dragged her into the square. I followed, weeping, knowing that this moment had always been coming. Lita, deny it, Lita, please. Say it was me. Say it was anyone else. Just stay alive. I pled in the crowd, but I was ignored. At dusk, they executed her before the factory gates. The cracks of rifles echoed, and the voice was silenced. Or so the Republic thought, because the words did not die. They returned, sharper, louder, bolder. People swore Lita's spirit lived on, painting her names on walls, singing her lines as hymns. She became the symbol of hope. Courage spread, the Republic trembled, protests rose worldwide. And in the end, the Republic fell. It was only a decade after the Republic fell that the truth surfaced. In a lockbox, bundles of writings appeared. Not Lita's, but mine. Letters, drafts, slogans. I fed her my words, crafted them myself. Meticulous, brilliant, dangerous. My voice carried as hers my sin. Yes, she was braver. I wrote, she carried. I hid behind shadows. She rose and stood in the light and become admired. But when they took her, I'm the one who stayed. I'm the one who betrayed her when the soldiers caught me. I spat it into their ears. I traded her soul for my breath. Was it betrayal or survival? Without her, my words were whispered, but without me, her courage stood alone. Together we became the voice. I regretted everything I did. Now they call me a survivor, but I know the truth. I am nothing more than a coward who lived, rewarded by another chance to live. History remembered Lita as the first fire that burned, but in the ashes, I was the one that kept feeding the flame. And together, we changed everything with nothing more than the simple act of writing. We brought mighty demons to their knees, though I have to watch my soul sister die for every spark I lit. I still write now, but not to be heard, just to remember, because even silence can be a scream, and I screamed once through her.